Sure, the speakers in phones have gotten better over the years, but there's only so much you can do when the phones themselves just keep getting slimmer. But Bluetooth speakers have never been better, and today I'm here to show you a few of the best. Hey guys, I'm Kristofer Wouk. In this video, we're going to look at Bluetooth speakers for different uses and different budgets, but we're going to start with one we just couldn't ignore, the Bose SoundLink 3. While it doesn't offer the bells and whistles that many of its competitors do, the SoundLink 3 seems to adhere to the philosophy of do one thing well. When it comes to sheer volume and sound quality, this one is tough to beat. While lack of bass is a common complaint while looking at Bluetooth speakers, that isn't the case here. This isn't going to blow a full hi-fi system or car stereo out of the water, but given the size, the depth and presence of the bass is impressive. If you're looking for a speaker to fill the room at a party, this is going to be your best bet. The only real downside is the price. At $300, this is far from the most expensive speaker on the market, but it's also more than some people are willing to spend. Don't worry, we've got you covered. Next up on the list at half the price is the Creative Sound Blaster Roar. Not only is the Roar cheaper than the SoundLink 3, it's absolutely packed with features as well. Sure, it plays music over Bluetooth, but it also has a built-in microSD card slot that allows it to function as a standalone music player, a 6,000 mAh battery that can charge your mobile devices, and a voice recorder function. It even works as a siren. In fact, the only major fault of the Sound Blaster Roar is that it might do too much. Despite the hefty battery, it only supports 8 hours of playback time, and the speaker itself is fairly heavy. The latter may not be a minus, especially if you're using this speaker at home, but it does make it less portable. Still, we've never seen a speaker that boasts this many features, and it sounds good to boot. It's even got an internal EQ that can be adjusted by plugging it into a computer. With that feature set, you might expect the price to be insane, but you can actually find the Creative Sound Blaster Roar going for $149 online. Now our next pick is a bit more expensive, but it's also a lot tougher. It's the Fugoo. The Fugoo is little and it's incredibly tough, but it doesn't sound like either of those things. And yes, that's a compliment. The speaker uses an interesting concept. It has a core speaker that is then adorned by one of 3 different jackets. While I looked at the style model in my review over at SoundGuys, it's also available in a sport model and the tough model, which, as the name implies, is even tougher than the sport and style models. So much so that it is described by the company as virtually indestructible. That said, even the style model is waterproof up to 3 feet for 30 minutes in addition to being snow and sandproof. That alone would be impressive, but this little speaker also boasts 40 hours of battery life at 50% loudness. Even at full power, it's capable of over 15 hours of playtime. Considering that many speakers struggle to get even half that, it's quite the accomplishment. The Fugoo style and sport models both go for $199, while the tough model goes for $229. Now for our next pick, we're staying at about the same size, but we're going way cheaper in price. It's the JBL Flip 2. The original JBL Flip was a near instant hit, but the JBL Flip 2 took everything great about the original Flip and made it better, while at the same time improving on the faults of the original. For a speaker that you can literally fit in your pocket, as long as you're not wearing skinny jeans, the sound is very impressive. While the cylindrical shape has become more common than it once was, the JBL Flip 2 is still fairly eye-catching, and though it isn't as loud as our first pick, it still gets loud enough without distortion to keep a party going. The battery life is still the weakest aspect of the speaker, but at 6 hours, it's long enough that you shouldn't find yourself running out of juice very often. At $99, the Flip 2 is significantly more expensive than the SoundLink 3, but it's also not the cheapest item on our list. That honor goes to the Anker MP141. As I said in our review of the Anker MP141, while Anker is a fairly recognizable brand name, the company has its hands in so many areas that you might not know them for the audio products. While plenty of companies with no history in audio make budget Bluetooth speakers these days, it's uncommon that they make them as good as this one. Looking at the MP141 for the first time, even though I had heard good things about it, I was fairly certain that there was no way anything good sounding was going to come out of it. I was wrong. It may not stand toe-to-toe with the SoundLink 3 or even the JBL Flip 2 when it comes to sound quality, But given the tiny size and low price, it would be a crime not to mention the Anker MP141 here. While the heavy-duty look and small size might not be for everyone, the price certainly is, and the 20-hour battery life is another plus. At $39.99, it's basically a no-brainer. And that wraps up our list. And yes, this was only 5 items long, but there are a ton of great Bluetooth speakers out there. Want to know about them? Well, that's pretty much my job over at Sound Guys. So if you want to know more about all kinds of awesome audio stuff, I suggest you head over there and subscribe. I'm Kristofer Wouk. Thanks for watching.